anniversary of his administration, Governor Akeredolu reiterates commitments to accelerated socio-economic development of Ondo State. Following pockets of pre-election violence across Nigeria, Police Service Commission tasked security operatives on renewed vigilance hours to 2023 general election. 7 House of Reps members arrested with huge foreign currencies in Port Harcourt. And from the foreign scene, Tunisia opposition kicks as police arrest prominent critic of President Said. A very good evening. Thank you for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Timile Falade. Today marks 2 years of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu's second term in office. Arakunrin Akeredolu was re-elected for a second term in October 2020 and sworn in on February 24th, 2021. Despite numerous challenges, including dwindling financial situations which cut across the country, the governor has made steady and tremendous achievements in critical sectors such as education, health, infrastructure, public utilities, security, governance, public sector, sports, among others. The governor also within the space of the 2 year was decorated with the Commander of the Order of the Niger (CON) by the federal government. His achievements and clamor for true federalism, restructuring, state police, among others, has endeared him to many and earned him accolades as a leader, instilling confidence and renewing hope in his people. Meanwhile, Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has reiterated his commitments to pursuing policies and programs that will accelerate economic development and progress of the people. The governor said his administration will continue to work in tandem with the aspirations and yearnings of the people for the overall development of the state. Akeredolu, in a special message commemorating the 6th anniversary of his administration, stated that bold steps have been taken in the journey of redeeming the state and restoring its lost glory. The governor, while thanking God for his grace so far, expressed his heartfelt appreciation to the people for the mandate given to him and the opportunity to provide leadership in the state. He assured that the remaining 2 years of his administration will be devoted to more impactful projects aimed at improving the lives of the people. In its quest to bequeath another milestone legacy and redefine governance in Ondo State, the Oluwarotimi Akeredolu administration is intensifying efforts to complete the ongoing Governor's Lodge at the Government House in Alagbaka, Akure. The project, which was flagged off in June 2021, is being executed through Bond for the Economic Prosperity of the State and its people. In this special report, Government House correspondent Wahab Ankole takes a look at the progress of work done and the story behind the decision to have a new Governor's Lodge in the Sunshine State.
I do this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and
That was the moment when Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu performed the groundbreaking and foundation laying of the new Governor's Lodge in Ondo State. The ceremony, held on the 4th of June 2021, underlined the commitment of the present administration to have a befitting Governor's Lodge for the state. The governor laid the foundation of a new Governor's Lodge as part of activities marking the first 100 days of his administration's second term in office.
To the glory of God, this foundation stone was laid by Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SAN, Governor Ondo State, Friday, 4th June 2021.
According to the Chief of Staff to Governor Akeredolu, Olugbenga Ali, is long overdue.
what we inherited was a ramshackle. There is this other building, housing the former governor used. It's supposed to be a new building, but we have so many cracks there. Everybody was afraid that the building could collapse. So that was why we had to consider the presidential lodge, which has just 2 rooms for a governor of a state.
As iconic and important as some infrastructure development projects of the present government are to the social and economic prosperity of the state, one very vital project the state has been lacking for many years is an ideal governor's lodge that befits the status of the Sunshine State. What are the facilities here? What are the features of this new governor's lodge that is being prepared by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu for the good people of Ondo State?
We have 3 different sections here. This is the main building.
Okay, this one?
This is the main building of the governor's lodge. And we have this banquet hall.
Okay.
This banquet hall is for meeting purposes and other functions, any other functions. This banquet hall capacity is for 250 people.
The head of service, Mr. Kayode Ogundele, says the importance of a befitting governor's lodge is numerous.
If the person who is leading a state, as well as people who will be coming to have things to do with the state, if they, in Yoruba land, and when they come and they see a governor or a government house that cannot be called or be said to be a thing of pride, it tells a lot about our seriousness in the state.
When completed, any governor, irrespective of political affiliation, will have a befitting and presentable edifice to live in and not a liability, as it will join a league of several other iconic projects initiated and completed by Governor Akeredolu administration since assumption of office in 2017. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Now to stories on the presidential and National Assembly elections holding tomorrow. The Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ Ondo State Council has expressed dissatisfaction with the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) over poor handling of accreditation of media professionals for the coverage of the 2023 general election. The state chairman of the union, Leke Adegbite, lamented that press accreditation tags were not given to many journalists in Ondo State due to poor handling and processing by INEC. Adegbite emphasized that media is critical in covering elections. As such, INEC must not tow the path of negligence in the matters affecting journalists. The NUJ chairman, who enjoined journalists in the state to move in groups with their identification tags, urged security agencies to see media professionals as partners in progress. Meanwhile, as Nigerians head to the polls tomorrow, over 87 million voters have been cleared to participate in the crucial exercise. Data released by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) show that 93.5 million Nigerians were registered to participate in the presidential and National Assembly election, as well as the governorship and state assembly polls slated for March 11. Of the figure, 87.2 million voters collected their permanent voters' cards (PVCs) as of February 5, deadline for the collection of the cards. The PVC is a criterion that enables voters to exercise their franchise during elections. Already, the electoral body has said it would not allow any Nigerian without the card to vote tomorrow at March 11 this year. In the meantime, the National Human Rights Commission has launched its Situation Room for the 2023 general elections. The launch of the Situation Room, which took place in Abuja, will attend to human rights violations across the 32 states and the FCT during the elections. The short code for reporting human rights abuse, vote buying, and police brutality is 6472, while the toll-free line is 0800 647 2428. This initiative, the Commission said, is in furtherance of its mandate to protect the rights of Nigerians, which include the right to vote, the dignity of persons, and protection from abuse by security personnel during and after the elections. Now, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) says all fraudulent messages on network shutdown in the country should be ignored. The NCC's Director of Public Affairs, Dr. Ruben Moka, in a statement in Abuja, made this known. Moka noted that the NCC's attention was drawn to fraudulent and misleading information circulating in some social media platforms. He said the platforms insinuated there was a planned shutdown of all telecom networks and relevant ICT units, including online transfer facilities of the banks, with effect from today. At least 2 people were injured in an attack on the convoy of the candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the House of Representatives, Lagos Mainland constituency, Segun Gbayi. The attack by the yet-to-be-identified gunmen happened in the Yaba area of Lagos State. The gunmen also attacked the security escorts attached to the convoy, opened fire and vandalized the vehicles. However, Gbayi narrowly escaped the attack unhurt. Reacting, Gbayi said the attack was to prevent members and supporters of the party from exercising their franchise in tomorrow's election. In a related development, at least 5 people were injured in an attack on the supporters of the African Democratic Party in the Lekki area of Lagos State. It was learned that the members of the party were returning from the campaign rally in the evening when some touts descended on them at the Marua end of the Lekki Expressway. An eyewitness, who preferred anonymity, said some of them were injured while a few others were dispossessed of the valuables. It was gathered that some of the hoodlums later fled the scene of the attack, while the unlucky ones were overpowered and apprehended by the party supporters who took them to a nearby police station. The Ogun State Police Command said all political actors have been engaged to conduct themselves peacefully to prevent any form of election-related violence and killings during elections in the state. During the presidential and National Assembly elections in 2019, gunmen killed a police corporal, Sunday Idoko, during an attack on officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Edo in the Yawa South local government area of the state. Also in the Ogere Remo area of the Ikena Council of the state, a stray bullet killed a mother of 6, Oluwakemi Adeoye, during an exchange of gunfire between suspected political thugs and security agents during the governorship and State House of Assembly elections in 2019. Reacting to the question on the readiness of the command to avert killings induced by election-related violence in the state Police Public Relations Officer Abimbola Oyeyemi said adequate machinery had been deployed to ensure free, fair, and credible conduct during and after elections in the state. And to this one from Zamfara State, policemen and the convoy of the wife of Zamfara State People's Democratic Party's House of Representatives candidate, Oriya Lawal, have allegedly been shot in a clash with the state anti-thuggery operatives. The incident was said to have happened in the early hours of today when Mrs. Lawal was returning to Gusau, the state capital. Speaking to newsmen, Imran Adna, the middle aide to the wife of the party's reps candidate, Dauda Lawal, however, alleged that the attackers were Zamfara State anti-thuggery operatives. The Anambra State Police Command has barred vigilante operatives and security aides of politicians from participating in Saturday's election duties. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Tokchoku Ikenga, said the decision was to ensure similar security situation in all parts of the state during the presidential and National Assembly elections. The statement said vigilante groups, private security guards, and other quasi-security outfits are excluded from participating in the security of the elections. It added that security aides and escorts are not allowed to accompany their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation centers during the election, as anyone found flouting this directive will be severely sanctioned. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has suspended the Enugu East senatorial election over the death of Labour Party's candidate Oyibo Chukwu INEC chairperson Mahmoud Yakubu announced the development today during a media briefing at the National Coalition Center in Abuja. Chiku was killed and set ablaze at Amechi Awukwo in Enugu South local government area on Wednesday after gunmen opened fire on his convoy, killing him and his personal assistant. The residents of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC House of Assembly candidate for Eche constituency in Rivers State, Charles Nyawu, has been attacked by suspected gunmen. Nyawu, according to reports, narrowly escaped death when the arsonists attacked his residence in Port Harcourt. Sources said the arsonists invaded Nyawu's residence and detonated an improvised substance suspected to be dynamite, which left the building destroyed. However, there was no loss of life during the incident. A member of the House of Representatives, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, has been arrested with an unspecified amount of foreign currencies. Igwe, who represents Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2 in the lower chamber of the National Assembly, was arrested this morning along Aba Road in Port Harcourt. Spokesperson of the Rivers State Police Command, Grace Iringe Koko, confirmed the arrest. Igwe was said to be a staunch supporter of the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. The Police Service Commission (PSC) has charged police operatives to ensure Nigerians vote freely in tomorrow's general elections. PSC spokesman Ikechukwu Ane, in a statement, said the success of the 2023 general polls depends largely on the commitment of the police and other security agencies on election duty. The Commission also charged these security agencies to ensure that Nigerians can freely vote and that their votes count. The PSC also asked security operatives to exhibit the highest level of patriotism in ensuring that Nigerian voters, voting materials, and the atmosphere for elections are secured and safe for the elections. You're still watching OSRC News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel at OSRC TV Ondo. We'll take a quick break on the news. Do stay with us.
Hey, we go wash plate tire o.
Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, èló lówó wa.
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ah, 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you turn to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ̀.
I told you. Na one go 10.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching OSRC News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. The proprietor of Mommy's Place International Nursery and Primary School, Akure, and M Place College, Dr. Damilola Oshin, has restricted commitment towards building young minds who are aware of their culture and heritage. Dr. Oshin enjoined parents to give priority to children upbringing. OSRC's Sahid Aribisala reports that the pupils and students of the school adorned different traditional attire to showcase their understanding of Nigeria cultural value.
Nigeria is one of the most linguistically diverse countries across the world, With 40% of the global population not having access to an education in a language they speak or understand, the commemoration of International Mother Language Day every February 21st is to foreground the impact of indigenous languages on development. In commemoration of the day, which is now expanded to celebrate the entire gamut of culture, particularly of the Yoruba people, pupils, teachers and parents at Mommy's Place International Nursery and Primary School, Akure, were clad in colorful traditional attire. Special dance presentation by the cultural troupe of the school, as well as that of its secondary arm, Empress College, stole this show, as the students displayed their mastery of Yoruba dance movements. To recognize the contribution of the school's proprietor, Dr. Damilola Oshin, to cultural development, a socio-cultural organization, Yoruba Study Group, presented a Golden Leadership Excellence Award.
To present it to you. Thanks very much.
Dr. Damilola Oshin, who appreciated the honor, said the schools will continue to give priority to molding future leaders cognizant of their culture and traditions.
These days, everyone just wants the children to be different, to behave like the whites and all that. But one thing that people need to understand is that the whites have their own culture as well. And they keep their culture. They abide by their culture. It's not right for us to let go of ours and imbibe another person's culture.
She enjoined other Nigerians, including parents, to rescue Nigerian culture, particularly that of the Yoruba people, from fading out.
We try to make our children here understand, and they understand that very well. And also, that place of respect, of regard for elders, that also has to be celebrated, and we try to do that here as well.
Some students, their parents, as well as teachers, commended the school leadership for giving them opportunity to stay in touch with their heritage.
Education, first of all, is a ministry on itself. It's just like ministry in the church. If God doesn't call you as a pastor, you just gamble into it because of money. So our proprietors, they should be inspired. They should use this one as an inspiration.
Let's just say throughout my primary school, I was doing Yoruba lessons, so that was why I learned Yoruba. And again, I also found Yoruba as something fun. So you have to have passion for Yoruba. Yoruba is our traditional language, so we have to learn it very well.
School, they always speak it, and I feel like I love the way they speak the Yoruba, and I also want to copy them. So I learn it from them, and it's making sense.
The event was rounded off with a presentation from the school's musical club. Sahira Ibisala, Osrc News.
The Bishop of Akure Anglican Diocese and Archbishop Ondo Ecclesiastical Province, Right Reverend Simeon Borokini, has pledged commitment towards a purposeful leadership and upliftment of the body of Christ. Borokini made the pledge during the 10th anniversary of his consecration as Bishop of Akure Anglican Diocese. Joy Powers reports that the consecration anniversary is part of activities to mark the 40th anniversary of the Akure Anglican Diocese.
Elected as Diocesan Bishop of Akure Anglican Diocese on the 9th of January 2013 and consecrated on February 24 same year, Most Reverend Simeon Borokini has continued to make gospel propagation his priority. Ten years down the line as Bishop of Akure Anglican Diocese, he is here to celebrate God's faithfulness through the years. The All Saints Anglican Church, Ijapo, Akure was filled with clergymen from various Anglican churches as well as Christian faithful as they joined the family of the cleric for the Holy Communion service to mark the day, even as it coincides with the 40th anniversary of Akure Anglican Diocese. It is the first ceremony after his elevation as the Archbishop Ondo Ecclesiastical Province last year. In his sermon entitled Faithfulness unto God, Reverend Raphael Oladimeji highlighted some of the celebrant's achievements since he was ordained bishop, charging believers to remain faithful to God in all situations.
We are to remain faithful unto Him. He has not forgotten you. He is watching you. All He needs from you and from me, just as established in the scripture, is that we should walk before Him and be perfect.
For the Bishop of Akure Anglican Diocese and Archbishop Ondo Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Simeon Borokini, wife and family members, it has been God's faithfulness all the way.
It has been very rough and smooth, but we thank God because God has been leading us and has been piloting the affairs, because God has been our strength and He has been our succor.
My advice to my husband is for him to continue as he has been doing. The Lord has been faithful unto us, and the Lord is always on his side. So my prayer for him is for God to spare his life and for him to enjoy good health.
Every day, one thing is clear. He wants to ensure that he pleases his master. That is why faithfulness has been his watchword. Yes, before he became bishop, has always emphasized that God has all called him to be successful in ministry. God has called him to be faithful.
And we're saying, God,